All right, guys. So today we are talking about monorepo, right? Monorepo. The word monorepo means what? Mono means single, right? Single project folder inside where you can add all other projects, right? If there are many projects, okay, you can add in the same project folder. Then you might have database. You might have a in a backend, right? You create a separate backend of express or something. You don't have to create separate folder, okay? You can add in one place within the same project folder, right? So that is what we call monorepo. A monorepo, a short for monolithic repository. Repository, basically when we say repository, right, in GitHub, what happened? We track, we we in our Git we control the version, right? Every time you commit, and you can you have the status, right, or the code for each commit, okay, tracking system for each commit. That is what we do that is what we do in the git commit, git tracking, right, or git version control, okay. So basically monorepo is a version control code repository that holds multiple project, okay. Simple, you can add multiple projects in one folder, that's it. Example, a monorepo might contain the front end, back end, shared libraries, right? Shared libraries. Libraries means small components or small programs, right? Which share the the functionality. You build one component, right? Maybe let's say navbar, which is maybe shared in different projects. Button, some common things you can share. So when you have a lot of sharing, right, in different places, then mono creating projects with monorepo concept is ideal. It's better, right? But if your code base is not sharing a lot of code, okay, not sharing, it's all separate, right? Then you don't need. I mean, we for simple project you're not gonna need, right? But large project scales like Google, maybe Facebook, Twitter, Airbnb, right? They use monorepo. They use these things, right? So also in the calc.com, I think the calendary, right, so similar to calendary, the cal.com, they also use monorepo. So in JavaScript, TypeScript world, right, tools like turbo repo, nx, lerna, these are the basically not turbo repo, right? Okay, we talk about turbo repo later, but nx and lerna, these are the program, right, for creating monorepo, okay, monorepos, right? So why monorepo, and why not simple folder, right? I mean, why not simple project folder, okay? Create front end in one folder, back end in one folder, why not? So why can't I just store server services, back end, front end, etc in various top level folder, right? You can and you should if your service are highly decoupled, means if they don't share code, right, then it's better to put it in the separate folder, right? Service does not depend on each other. See, simple reason. If this is the case, right, then we don't need monorepo, okay. You can create separately and done. But why monorepo? Shared code or for reuse, right, like code to reuse, okay, shared, enhance collaboration, right? So in the same, maybe there is many projects built inside the same folder, right? Maybe one of your colleague working in one of the projects, someone working on something else, right, separate, they have the separate uh, project folder, right, and they can work on one of these project folders, okay. Optimize build and CI/CD, right? So CI/CD, continuous integration, okay. So you can optimize continuous integration uh, inside our monorepo. So for that, right, tools like turbo repo offer smart caching and task execution strategy that can significantly reduce build and testing time. So we're going to talk about turbo repo just now. uh, Basically it makes continuous integration much easier, right? You just have to maybe write, I mean, We can look at about continuous integration and deployment in our DevOps. For now, let's not worry. But turbo repo is the program, right, which is very much helpful of creating monorepo. Okay, and why it is helpful, we will come back there just now. Centralized tooling and configuration, right? Centralized, so all your code for monorepo, I mean basically in one place, right? Everything is one folder. Okay, so that is all. Centralized means controlled by one place, controlled in one place. Managing build tools, linter, formatter, and other configurations is simpler in a monorepo because they can have a single set of tools for entire project. See, so all the supporting tools will be in one place, right? And the same single tools will be used in each project. Okay, because what I said, monorepo handles multiple projects, right? And you can share the most common tools between each of them. Okay, common tools for monorepo, I mean Larna is creating for monorepo, NX for monorepo, turbo repo, right? Not exactly a monorepo framework. Okay, not exactly. But what is turbo repo now? Turbo repo is a program, right? So let's go to the maybe turbo. Let's see, open this. So if I click here, right, turbo.com. Okay, they change. So makeship happens. Turbo is a build. Look at turbo is the build system for JavaScript and type code base, right? Build system. Okay, so turbo repo is a program, right, which orchestrate or maybe which designate the process of building. Now what we mean by building, right? uh, you remember when we learned TypeScript, right? You compile the TypeScript to JavaScript, correct? You convert TypeScript to JavaScript. That is called building. So similarly, when we write our code, right, when we have Next.js project and you say npm run dev or npm dev, right, then the TypeScript has the build system. Sorry, Next.js project has build system already there. It will build or compile our code and create, put in the build folder, right? So that is called building. Okay, means basically optimizing your code for the production, right, or to go live. Okay, so that is build system. So in this case, turbo repo is what? A build system architecture. Architecture means like a principal, right? Or the like top manager who tells each framework or each library is inside, right? Okay, you do this, you do this, you do this. This is your turn first, and then you the next person will do this task, right? Designate, okay, designator, right? That's what turbo repo does. So it will create the monorepo. And the main goal of turbo repo is to designate, right? And it has built-in facilities like remote caching, effortless monorepo. You can generate monorepo, right? Also work with any providers, Git, GitHub, whatever, right? So that's fine. So let's go back right here. So now you understand turbo repo is basically the build system. Okay, we're gonna come back here. I mean, when you create a folder, right, or when you create a project of monorepo, it looks something like this. My monorepo project main folder, inside you're gonna get app folder, right, where you have different projects. So app holds the UI, the project or the UI part, right, like the projects which will be uh, accessible by the client, right? So that is UI side. Okay, here main projects will go here. Then the packages, like the components, will go in the packages, right? So all the packages or all the supporting files will be go in the packages folder. And from here, right, from UI we share to maybe API or maybe backend, front end, or any projects here, right? So all your backend, front end things will go in the app. all the supporting files will go in the, or components will go in the packages. And here is package.json, maybe the common package.json, right? And each project also have their own package.json. So, and the, yeah, that is fine, right? That is all. So you can see the app end user, right? Application. So end user application will go in the app, that is front end, back end, whatever, right? Packages, shared libraries and components, and tools config, right? So here build, linting, testing, all those things will go in the tools config folder. Okay, simple to understand. So next step is okay, that's it, right? I mean, we're gonna create, let's go to the next topic and try to read through again. I mean, what is the build system versus build system architecture versus monorepo framework, right? So build system is the build system is responsible for compiling, bundling, transpiling your code, right? So turbo repo is what? Build system. Turbo repo does all this compiling, bundling, transpiling your code, right? It converts your source code into a final production code, right? Final product, like a production ready apps or a deployable artifact, right? Good. Next, Webpack is a build system. ES build, roll up, Vite, Vite, remember for the what you call the React, we use Vite, that is the build system. TSC TypeScript compiler, right? Babel, these are all the build system, old version, okay? So build system architecture, what that means, right? Like architecture is difficult to pronounce, but someone who designate the tasks, right? Like, you have the proper system for designating the tasks, okay? So the turbo repo is the build system architecture sits on the top of the build system, right? See, so there is a build system. Turbo repo use yarn or maybe npm, right? Npm, yarn, they are also the build system, because that's how we do npm run build, npm run, uh, whatever, npm run devs, we do that, right? So turbo use that build system, and turbo job is to orchestrate, like designate the tasks, right? Okay, you build this folder or you build those folder, and on the top of that, right, turbo repo have few more features like caching, and few other things we're going to look at later. But what needs to be built, right? What can be skipped? Cache, if something is cached and if there is no file change, then you don't have to build, okay? Just use from the cache, right? Already ready to go. But depends on what, right? Dependency graph. Parallel execution of the tasks across multiple package means two process running at the same time, in the parallel, okay? So all those things handles by build system orchestrator, right? Orchestrator, okay, or whatever, you just read, try to figure out. Turbo repo is a by Vercel, right? That is a build system architecture, okay? Bazel used by Google, right? So think of architecture as a project manager for build tools. They can coordinate builds efficiently and intelligently, right? Okay. Okay, what is monorepo framework? A monorepo framework provides tools and conventions for managing projects that contain multiple packages or application within single repository. So monorepo framework, NX and Learner, right? This includes dependency management between packages. I mean, just a definition. Okay, I mean, you understand what is monorepo, right? And then we basically focus on the turbo repo, okay? Because that is the famous build system architecture, right? So turbo repo as a build system architecture or the manager, right? Turbo repo as a build system. Let's go through here. Turbo repo is a build system. Okay, so many times. The key feature of turbo repo is its ability to manage and optimize the execution of these tasks across the monorepo, right? So, when you install turbo repo, right, it will create monorepo, but turbo repo itself is the build system architecture. Turbo repo does not build anything. It just tells someone, right, okay, you build this. You don't have to build this because I have in the memory cached already from the last build, right? uh, Parallelization means run something. It can run independent tasks in parallel, two things, or it can run in the same time, right? Parallel. Okay. So so turbo repo helps for that. Then dependency graph awareness. Dependency graph awareness means what? Turbo repo understands the dependency graph. Every package, right, every software depends on so many libraries. Okay. So turbo repo keeps track of all those libraries, right, of your monorepo, and this means it knows which package depend on each other and can ensure the tasks are run in the correct order, right? So basically, turbo repo, just call it like a good manager, right, who can handle the uh, handle, or who can orchestrate or designate, right, designate sorry, designate the tasks to the to the compiler. Let's call it compiler, right? Maybe like npm package or yarn or someone else, right? Whoever is there. Okay. So let's see how we can create the monorepo, right? How we going to create a monorepo? Simple. If you go to the monorepo doc here, we have the doc, right? And there is something called installation. So if you want, you can read through here. Simple. Yeah. And then pnpm, right? Dlx create turbo repo at latest. Okay, this is the command. Let's run this and see what happened, right? So I have not tried. I last year I tried to build this, right? Simple, while teaching, but I never use even in my projects. Okay, I have not used, right? Because if you have small projects, you don't need. But the reason for learning this, right? If you get job in a big company or somewhere in the company who has the project already built using turbo repo, now it's your job to figure out, right, all the folder structure. They will assign you the job to, okay, can you build some component, right, and and connect to one of the project, okay, inside there. Then you should know how to, where to build the component and how you're going to connect to the project, right? So up to that point we will try to understand. So yeah, so right, what is turbo repo, what is mono repo, and how you can install all those things, how to create components. Those things will be clear out in our class. All right, so let's start. uh, I'm just going to install in the same folder, right? So dot, maybe it will take some time, right, in your, if it takes a lot of time, then you can try later, but for now, let's watch. So what we want to use, right? See, the turbo repo, which package manager, right, package manager you want to use? Npm, pnpm. So I'm going to use pnpm, right? Let's see if I cannot move. Okay, I cannot move. Okay, arrow, yeah, because I clicked outside, right? So pnpm and then enter. Okay, npm pnpm is the latest, so that is fine. See the turbo repo using the package manager. What is package manager? Someone who gonna compile our code, right? So application, look at here, the front end application or the user application, that is docs and web, right? Inside the app folder, and the library packages, right? So inside the packages, you can find the linters configuration, TypeScript configurations, and the UI for your components, right? So once it will finish installation, right? What is the next thing to do? After that, there are 5 modules in our project. Explore the folder structure, right? App, that is fine. UI packages, TypeScript, shareable TypeScript configuration. See, the same configuration is shared between both project, web and doc, right? And then ESLint share between both project also. You don't have to install separately, okay? Just run the pnpm dev, right? And it should run the server, and you will see the 2 domain, okay? Localhost 3000, 3001, and you can same time you can visit both project, right? So that's all we have to understand. Fine. So now let's look at the folder structure. We already talked about the app. You have 2 projects here, docs and web, right? If I go to the web now, it looks similar to our Next.js project, right? See, so you have the app here, and then you have the page layouts and all those things. Okay, same, right? And if you go to the, also they have their own package. Where is the package, right? Let's see. Packages, that's fine. Web, oh, here, sorry, I was talking this packages, and see, they have their own packages, and each project has their own packages, because sometimes you're gonna install the package for this project only, right? So you need a place to add that. That is okay. So both has the package. Okay, that is first thing. Second, right? Second is the packages folder, right? For your UI. So inside this UI, you can find, look at here, you can find the button, card, code, right? See that these are few components built in already, okay? And these are used inside our project. We're gonna look at later, right? So let's run this. Let's start, okay? pnpm tab, right? Because see, we are in the main project, right? Main monorepo, this main project folder. If I go back inside this package, you see the pnpm dev, right? It will run the turbo run dev program, okay? So turbo is going to run the development process, right? Okay, so I just have to do pnpm dev, and there is pnpm build also, right? Or if you want to run the lint, pnpm lint, okay, or format, you can run that. All right, so let's run pnpm dev now and see what happened. It runs both project, doc and the web, and you have 3001, and should be one more, right? Where is 3000? Yeah, okay, so it's clicked in this one. The doc is in 3001. If you click the second one, right, it should go in 3000 also. Okay, so I cannot click, I'm not sure why. Can I minimize? Sometimes my computer froze, right? So it's not working, but let's open this project, right? It's still compiling, I'm not sure why. You see that 3001 is running, right? Turbo. This is the, you can see the buttons here, open alert, right? And hello from your doc app, okay? And if I go back to the 3000, let's try to the 3000 and enter, right? So again, it runs 3000, it's running. Again, click open alert and hello from your web app, right? Look at here. So I have both project running, the doc and the web, right? So I'm not sure why it's okay. It should display the both what you call that, the URL right here, localhost 3000 and 3001. So you can see, I just cannot, I don't know how to shift this one, yeah, okay, yeah, now I can see, I cannot use the mouse, but I can use the scroll bar, right? So the mouse up and down. So when I move to the web devs, I can see localhost 3000, both are running separately. Okay, look at here, 3001, right? So I have two server running and they all are in one folder here, in one project folder, right? So let's go and check one of the, let's go to the web now, right? Inside in the app, I will go to my base and see how it is sharing the button. Look at the button. If I click control and if I click this, right, it will take me to the repo UI. Okay, so at the rate repo is basically the path, right, which will take you to the, so we'll see how this created, okay, in tomorrow class. Basically it will take you to the package UI and in the source, right, and this button, okay, here, button here, okay. So that is all right. I mean, you can see now this is the button we, and the same button is used. See, there is a children, there is a class name, there is an app name also, right? So that's why when you click that button, you sending the app name. Let's go back here and I'll show you now. You just sending the info data to your props, right? Props, and then that props is used here. Hello, you from your app name, that is maybe doc or maybe app, right? So go back and this, if you look at now the button, where is the button here, right? This button, see the app name, you are sending this props, you're sending the class name, right? You're sending all these things. So open a lot, right? This is the children, okay, the text. So the web, you are from the web, right? That's how it will display. And if you go the next one, doc app, right, and here you will see the button sending, you are from the doc. This is the information, okay. So the more most I mean customized button, right, same button can be used for different places, share between different app, right? You just have to write the components in such a way that you can pass the props for the change information, okay, like here is changing the docs, changing this maybe the text if you want it, right? You can send different text, that's okay. Styles secondary, right? So you have the secondary style somewhere here which you pass, not sure where is that. So you import that styles, right? This styles page module CSS, inside here you're gonna find, and this is the module way of writing CSS, okay. Right now we don't have to worry, we use straight tailwind, right? So but fine, tomorrow what we're gonna do, we're gonna look at to create the component, right, inside here, and then we're gonna see how we can use that component. I mean, once you know this much, right, then you know how to work, maybe go to one of the folder and work there, okay. That is clear. The only thing now to understand is creating the component, right, and then using that. So let's create one component and then we're going to use that component in both places, maybe app and the doc, right? This web and the doc, okay, in the both places. That is tomorrow we're going to do, we'll try to do that, right, in tomorrow class. Okay guys, so that is all. I mean, you guys see now how the monorepo is created using turbo repo, right? Turbo repo use npm or pnpm or yarn build system. Turbo repo acts like a manager, right? It just tells the npm to, or it just designates the work, right? Turbo repo will cache when you build the system, okay, like when you build the system, right, when you build these projects, it will, if something is already built before and if there is no change, then it will not go and rebuild, okay. It has already in the memory, it just use that build, right, from the previous or last build, and any file which is changed, that will be rebuild, okay. So for now, just keep it in mind that much. No need to worry too much. Just see how one time you can try, just build the projects or install the projects, look at the folder structure, right, try to understand. Okay, and then tomorrow we add the UI, connect to the both project here and here, right, in the both place. Okay, all right, so thank you very much, guys. Stop share.